Today, we are exploring a world that has no physical borders, but is home to billions of us. A place that's completely reshaping our lives, from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep. We're going to map the digital frontiers. Just think about that for a second. Imagine a nation with billions of citizens, a massive, thriving economy, its own rules, its own culture, but you can't find it on any globe. Where would that even be? Well, the thing is, you're already living there. That massive, borderless country, it's the digital world we all log into every single day. So today, we're going to be explorers. We're going to chart the key territories that make up this incredible new global landscape. All right, so our first stop is at the most personal level imaginable. We're looking at the technologies that are literally changing how we experience reality itself. These are the tools that are building whole new worlds right before our eyes. Okay, let's kick things off with virtual reality, or VR for short. Now, this isn't just about looking at a screen. Oh no, this is about being inside a completely different place. The magic word here is immersion. VR uses a headset to basically hijack your senses, tricking your brain into believing you've been transported somewhere else, a place you can actually reach out and interact with.
And this brings up something people get mixed up all the time, VR versus AR. But the difference is actually super simple. Think of it like this. Virtual reality replaces your world. You put on the headset and poof, you're on a different planet. But augmented reality, on the other hand, just adds to your world. You look through your phone and suddenly there's a Pokemon standing on your coffee table. See? One replaces reality, the other just enhances it.
And listen, this stuff is not science fiction anymore. VR is being used right now in some incredibly practical ways. You've got medical students exploring a perfect 3D model of the human heart. You have pilots training for emergency landings in a totally safe simulator. You can even tour the Louvre from your living room. Or, of course, you can just get lost in an amazing video game. Of course, for most of us, the main door to the digital world isn't some fancy VR headset. It's the little device that's in our pocket right now. Mobile computing is what untethers us, is what allows us to tap into a whole universe of information and services from, well, pretty much anywhere you can get a signal. It really is the bridge between our physical and our digital lives. And we use it for everything. I mean, think about it. You're checking your bank balance while waiting for a coffee, you're navigating a new city with GPS, you're ordering dinner to your door, you're catching up with friends on the other side of the planet. This isn't special anymore. For millions of us, this is just life.
So, what happens when you give billions of people these powerful, connected tools? Well, it doesn't just stay personal. All this technology has paved the way for a revolutionary new kind of marketplace, one that lives entirely in the cloud.
We are, of course, talking about e-commerce. Now, at its heart, it's a simple idea. It's just shopping online. But it's really the world's digital storefront, a place where you can buy just about anything you can imagine with a few simple clicks or taps. And this is where we see the two sides of the coin. On the one hand, the promise is just incredible, right? You've got shops that never close, a selection of products that's basically infinite, and you can sell to anyone, anywhere in the world. But then you've got the pitfalls. You can't actually touch or try on what you're buying, and the risks of online fraud and having your data stolen, well, they're very real. But selling stuff online, that's just one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. When we talk about e-business, we're talking about the whole shebang. It's not just about the online storefront. It's about running the entire company digitally. We're talking inventory, supply chains, customer service, internal memos, all of it. So why do it? Well, the advantages are pretty obvious. An e-business can operate way faster and more efficiently, which lowers costs and can lead to better service. But it's a huge undertaking. The security risks are enormous. It can cost a fortune to set up, and you do risk losing that personal, human connection with your customers. So let's zoom out even further, because when you change how we all live our daily lives and you change how businesses operate on a massive scale, you inevitably start to change society itself. We are literally building new ways of living together online. And that brings us to e-governance. The easiest way to think about this is like a digital city hall that's open 24/7. It's all about the government using technology to provide services, to share information, and to talk with its citizens in a much more direct and efficient way. So what's the goal here? Well, it's pretty compelling. E-governance is all about making public services faster and way easier to get. It's about cutting down on all that annoying paperwork and making government more transparent, which hopefully builds more trust.
Really, the dream is a government that's just more responsive to all of us.
Now, this digital shift is also making its way into one of the most important parts of our lives, our health. E-medicine is simply the practice of using technology to deliver healthcare from a distance. We're talking about things like having a video call with your doctor or getting a prescription sent straight to the pharmacy without a piece of paper.
The potential here is just huge. I mean, think about people in rural areas who can suddenly see a specialist without having to travel for hours. It's a game changer. But the challenges are also really serious. A doctor can't do a physical checkup through a camera. You absolutely need a good internet connection. And the privacy of our medical data is, well, it's everything. And that right there brings us to the really tough side of this new digital frontier. Because while the potential seems endless, trying to build this digital world for everyone is filled with some very real, very difficult hurdles, especially for developing countries. These are the big roadblocks. First off, you can't have an online society without the basics, like reliable internet and power. Then, people need to actually know how to use these tools. Governments and companies need the money to build these systems in the first place. And hanging over all of it are the huge issues of security and the digital divide, that growing gap between people in connected cities and those in disconnected rural areas. So we've explored all these different territories, the virtual worlds, the online marketplace, the digital city hall. What does it all add up to? What does it actually mean for us, living right now? Well, it means we live in what you could call a truly modern society. It's a world that is defined by its deep reliance on digital tools. The internet, our computers, our phones, these aren't just gadgets anymore. They are the basic plumbing for how we talk, how we work, how we learn, and how we get the services we need to live. So as we wrap up our journey, here are the main things to take away. 1. Our reality isn't just physical anymore. It's a blend of physical and virtual. 2. Our economy is being rebuilt on a foundation of digital clicks and transactions. 3. Our governments and doctors' offices are moving online. And 4. All of this amazing progress depends entirely on whether we can solve the huge challenges of access and security for everyone. And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. In this incredible rush to build our new digital world, what parts of our old one, things like our privacy, our real-life connections, our sense of equality, what do we risk leaving behind by accident? That's something we all need to be thinking about.